Hey everybody, so in this video we're going to be talking about using the equation editor. So what I want you to utilize these discussions for at the end of every unit is how you can ask your peers if they have any questions or feedback or ideas on how to solve certain problems from the study guide. So let's say that you have an inequality. So remember, an inequality is something like y is greater than or equal to. So if you just come down here in text, we don't really want to say y is greater than or equal to, 5x plus 7, right? Because then, although I kind of get what you're saying, it kind of just looks weird. And you really want to get good at responding the way things are written as far as text, because that's what you'll have to do on the milestone. So we're going to come all the way over here to these three vertical dots, click those, and we're looking for this symbol, the square root of x. So I'm going to give that a click, and then this is my equation editor. Now here, anything you type in here renders as an equation. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did. Y, I'm going to hold down the greater than and hit my equal to key, and then it automatically becomes equal to, and I'm going to say 5x plus 7. Now, this I know you're like, that kind of just looks a little bit better. But when we're doing things like systems of equations, we're doing things like quadratics, this is a tremendous help, especially when you're dealing with fractions and such. So I want to show you a few things in here. You're going to use certain keys all the time, and some of these keys you're never going to use. So you're going to use the fraction key all the time, the square root key, the nth root key. You're going to use these constantly. When you answer a square root, remember that has to be a plus or minus, but we haven't talked about that yet. That'll be later in the year, but that's just something else you're going to use all the time. Greek, you're not really going to use for variables. You'll use theta when you talk about things like angles inside of triangles, but that's really geometry and pre-calculus. You won't use operators at all. Relationships you will use. So this is your less than, greater than. This is congruent, similar, approximately, less than, equal to, greater than, or equal to. None of these you're really ever going to use. You're not going to use your arrows a whole lot. Delimiters, so that's how you do your curly brace. You don't have to search for these in the equation editor. You can just use the keyboard. It's the exact same thing. And then miscellaneous, that's your measure of an angle and your degree symbol. All right, so that's pretty much the equation editor. It is super nice. When you're done, you just hit done and it renders. And let's say you made a mistake and you're like, no, it was supposed to be 5x plus 7. You just click on it and then click on edit equation and you come right back, and then I can say 5x minus 7. Come over here, hit done. There you go. And then right below this, you can just ask, does anyone know how to solve this? And there you go. You just hit post, and then you can respond to other people. So make sure you use that equation editor. Don't try to type out the math, because one, you had to practice doing something like that because you may have an equation editor on your milestone. Second, you want your work to look as professional as possible to help your classmates. All right, that's going to be all for this video. I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any questions, make sure you ask your teacher.